Welcome to this episode. I'm going to share with you the interviews for Miss Universe Philippines that stood out to me this year. My name is Dani. Thanks for clicking the episode. If you really enjoy the channel, please subscribe. And also, if you'd like to support it, you can hit that super thanks button or join memberships. Things were a little bit different this year at Miss Universe Philippines. They decided to have the contestants walk in and sit down. They had a really cute floral background and the questions were personalized to the contestants. In the past, everybody got the exact same questions and they all had 30 seconds to answer each question. Honestly though, I didn't mind in the past when everybody had the same questions. I thought it was really interesting and really fair. But I will say that whoever wrote these questions, I think that they did an excellent job. Tacloban. So she shared about how she survived this terrible hurricane. And she talked about how her mom told her to save herself. Oh, I'm gonna cry again. She also talked in this interview about how her national costume, that it stood for resilience in adversity, and I really loved that. She mentioned her height as well, and because they asked her about how she felt that the height restriction had been lifted from the pageant, and obviously, she'd be excited because she would qualify, but she said this, that she is able to represent her own kind of beauty because of this. And we're looking at a future where young women are no longer scared of being comfortable in their own beauty, like that we can look forward to that. And I loved that. That was just so well said. And she also said, in reference to why you should be Miss Universe Philippines, that it's a responsibility, that she's escaped death 3 times, that she no longer fears it, and that every day is about taking up responsibility and believing, and that is the best quality of a Miss Universe Philippines. Bulacan, oh my gosh, how gorgeous is she, right? Just super stunning. So she talked about how she modeled to help pay for college, and she also shared that she has a very supportive family and they've supported her this entire time. When they asked her why she should be Miss Universe Philippines, she says, I know I am the next Miss Universe Philippines. She talked about her advocacy, which is education for youth, and that is something that she wants to further pursue, and that also if she were to win, it would just open the door to so many other opportunities for her career and then also for her advocacy. Zambala's, oh my gosh, I love her look. Fantastic styling, so gorgeous. They asked her about what it was like growing up with no roof or no electricity, and she says that it's never deterred her. She says she's someone who's empowered, that can use her story. Now, this was interesting. So she got her degree in customs administration, and they asked her a question about corruption and customs administration, and she says that as someone who is God-fearing, that she is never considered being in a position as someone who would negatively affect society. It's about how we do our job and the choices that we make. She says, in this profession, I pledge to give my best. Now, they actually asked her about her waist because apparently, I'm not the only one who noticed it. She's very well known for this, I guess. And she says, well, in regards to my waist, I do appreciate the compliments and that it's nice that you can be known for something. But she says, though, beyond our physical appearances, that we can champion for causes that we care about. And she knows that she can bring great change. She says that Miss Universe Philippines is a great responsibility, and she wants to show that a real Filipina can rise above difficulties in life, that this experience can give her the background to lead, and that she could be someone who can represent the Philippines in the international stage. Kamikan had one of those interviews that really touched my heart. Also, let's talk about her outfit. She looks fabulous. I need to thrift something and create something like this. It's fantastic. So she shared with us that when she was a little girl, she was adopted by her Lola. And by the way, I just love that everybody calls their grandma Lola in the Philippines. Why do I love that so much? I just think it's the cutest name. I don't know if there's any other meaning behind it, but I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with that. She also shared in her interview that it's not easy to chase your dreams when you don't have the money for it. And her advice to those who do have those funds is to not take it for granted, and gosh, do I really feel that. She also shared how something really affected her when she was in her childhood, and she had this friend, and her friend's dad said to her friend, don't be kids with that girl. She doesn't have parents, she's going nowhere. that just hit me, that struck me. I absolutely hate when adults limit children in those ways or make them feel little or make them feel like they have no worth, because gosh, that can really, really stick with you unless somebody else comes into your life and tells you the opposite, which is actually true, that you do have worth, that you can achieve great things in your life. And so I honestly just teared up when she said that. Tearing up now. She also said that she was studying and working at the same time while she was in school, and that she wants to share her story with children because she feels that it can be inspiring to them. And I 100% agree with her. She is very, very inspiring. Naik, so beautiful. Again, I talked about her in my Runway Challenge episode. She shared about how she lived in an orphanage and that she had to take medical engineering and that she became a certified welder as well. And she said, initially though, my dream was to become a neurosurgeon, but then she became a tutor later in life to help sustain her family. She also mentioned how she's a naturally positive person, and she said that she wants to collaborate with local government to provide low-cost machinery, which she has done before for the agriculture sector. Again, we are seeing a contestant who is stating her experience, and I love that. It is powerful in an interview. And then she said, because I believe Miss Universe Philippines is not just a woman who possesses beauty, but a woman who possesses beauty, character, and power. Love. Jet, oh my goodness, she just speaks so confidently. I am so proud. I got to work with her before Miss Universe Philippines and work with her on developing her brand, so I was hearing a lot of that in here. We actually had the fact that she is one of 10. We listed that in her fun facts because it was something that I was like, oh my gosh, that's so unique and so surprising. And we had conversations about, well, what is it about having 10 siblings that can make you different? Like, how did that shape you as a person, and how can you use that as a Miss Universe Philippines? And I was so proud when I heard her answer for this, because it's something we had talked about. And she says that it taught me tolerance and respect, because when you have multiple siblings, you're going to have multiple perspectives, and that's just like going out into the world and working with people and communicating with others who have those different perspectives. And I thought that that was just such a beautiful thing. She also talked about how she would like to adopt in the future, that that's something that she would be interested in. I also like that she encouraged the judges to check out her videos if you want to learn a little bit more about her, and that's so smart. Like, maybe the judges have watched the videos, maybe they haven't, but maybe they'll take that little note and go watch that video and see what else she has to share through those videos. And she did a great job with her video submissions. When they were asking her about why she should be Miss Universe Philippines, I like that she shared about being the first title holder from SoCal, that she's married, and she feels like she is this symbol of representation because of that. Also, the fact that she immigrated to the United States, that is something that makes her a little bit different. And she says that women deserve to be seen, and I think that I am ready because Miss Universe Philippines strives to crown an excellent Filipino woman, and that she is. Well done. Hawaii is unique because she is hearing impaired, and it just makes for a very interesting background, a very interesting story, and also I feel like an advocacy that obviously very much personally resonates with her. So she was born in the Philippines and she immigrated to the United States when she was 4 years old, but she's also been a youth director, and she has created these connections between children in the United States and in the Philippines, in Batangas primarily, which is where she said that she's originally from. Essentially, she's an advocate for education and disabilities, and I think that that's super important, but I just love that she can really speak from a personal perspective. I think that that is so beautiful, and that she could have so much to add to this title because of a circumstance, yes, that she didn't choose, but I just love what she's doing for others that are also hearing impaired or may experience some sort of disability of their own, and I just think it's so beautiful. Kain ta! Wow. Okay. So she really shifted the energy when she walked into the room. She's just like this force when she walks in. Okay, yes, she's gorgeous and the styling was great, right? But she shared about how her grandmother created this prison ministry. And she said some really beautiful things here. And she said, nobody is beyond redemption in regards to the work that she does within prisons. She was just so cute. She was so cute and so likable. And they even commented about her demeanor. And she spoke and she said that her mom told her that, you know, there are a few things in life that are serious, and outside of that, don't take life too seriously. And you could just feel how lighthearted she was. There was just this ease to her in that interview, which was very, very likable. She was smiling the entire time. She just looked like she was having a great time with the judges, frankly. And then when they were asking her about why she should be the next Miss Universe Philippines, she had this really nice thing to say where she said she feels that the next title holder must add jewels of compassion, service, and love for all to that crown. So I like how she talked about, like, you know, we can all have our own strengths and our own talents, but there are some things that as a title holder you should be bringing, like you should be adding to that legacy. And I like that she honed in on some of those. Bahol had a great outfit. She is an artist and her outfit looked, I couldn't really tell, but her outfit almost looked like it had pictures or paintings on it. So it was really, really unique. And I like that she shared about a community project and that she uses art to create employment. She also mentioned that the winner of the pageant should have a track record of serving her community, and she shared about serving her community. And I thought that the wording of that was brilliant. Go back and watch her interview. She's like, this is what Miss Universe Philippines should be, and this is what I have. She shared that evidence. Super smart. Ilo, absolutely loved her outfit, first of all, but come on, when do I not love her wardrobe? She's been very well styled. So something they asked her, because she is a track athlete, it was about running from things, and she says that she's always been running away from bullies her entire life, and then she had this moment when she was growing up and she saw a queen on TV, and she realized what she was then running towards. And I was like, I love that. She also compared training for pageants to training for sports. She was like, they're very similar. She's like, there are different events in sports and you need technique and you need discipline. And I have to say that the discipline, that is what I feel like has made her stand out from other contestants. I can just feel this sense of discipline from her, and this discipline leads to clear consistency from her performances. So that is something that I really, really like. Now let me talk about her answer for the last question of why you should be Miss Universe Philippines, because it got really mixed opinions online. So I will say this, when I saw this answer completely out of context, I was actually scrolling through Instagram before I had a chance to watch everyone's interview, and her answer popped up. And I did feel like in the moment when you just pull it out of context, it seemed a little much, or it came off as a little bit harsh in a way, I guess you could say, because of her choice of wording. But when I listened to this answer in her interview, I felt like she was just on a roll, and it made so much more sense in the context. One of the things that people are talking about in her answer is that she said that she was tagged as the people's queen, and people were like, well, who said that you were the people's queen? All of that stuff. But actually, when I was listening to this answer, she was quite confident in it. And I do feel like, yes, the way she delivered the choice of words, it could have rubbed some judges the wrong way. But there's also a chance that the judges can feel like she was very true to herself, very authentic, and very confident in that interview. Australia looked great in her interview. This teal color was perfect for the red tone in her hair, and I really appreciated that. She talked about how it wasn't her fault that she was born in Australia, but that she still wants to represent Filipinos worldwide. And I think that that was such a great, great point. There are so many title holders who are born one place, but then compete somewhere else. And they feel like they're less than because of that. But I don't feel like something out of your control, like where you were born, necessarily disqualifies you or makes you a less qualified title holder. Overall, she spoke really well in the interview. I feel like she was very solid, but because Miss Universe Philippines is so competitive, I would still guess that she is at least in that semi-finalist range, but she wasn't necessarily one of my, let's say, top 5 favorite interviews. Plastic is so stunning, okay? She's just, wow. Some of us are just blessed, right? She has children. She's one of the moms in the competition, and she also is married. She talked about how the moms in the competition have an advantage to those who aren't moms, and that's that they juggle a lot. They're already used to that, and so stepping into the role of Miss Universe Philippines, that could be more of a natural transition. She talked about how after she had her children, that's what really motivated her to get fit, and now she's an athlete at this point. She is incredibly fit. And then they asked her why you should be Miss Universe Philippines, and she had something really beautiful to say, and she said, well, why not me? It's time for the universe to have a mother. I feel like I can take care of the entire universe or the Philippines and represent them well at the international stage. So it's time for the universe to have a mother, right? I really liked that. Bacoor. So Victoria is a contestant that I expected to do very well. She is a veteran and she seemed very at ease in this interview. I think that was so important. A few of the contestants did come across as a little bit nervous in comparison, so she did very well here. So she talked a little bit about when she was kidnapped as a child, and that clarified some of the story that she mentioned in her other videos because I was so confused. Apparently she was saved just in the nick of time when she was about 3 years old. And then she also got asked a question about returning to compete for the title again, and I thought that was a great question. I actually got a very similar question the year that I won Miss Montana USA, so that was interesting. She talked about how important it is for your thoughts and your actions to also be in alignment with the organization, and that it's not just about being superficial, and she feels like that's where she is now. So I really like that. I really like the timing for her, and honestly wish her the best. This is a really tough to win Miss Universe Philippines, and so many of these women, they're just so deserving. United Kingdom, first of all, really cute outfit. I love any bow detail. Second, she talked about how she transitioned from working in hospitality, worked her way up, and now she works in real estate. She created Esteem Queens, but she wants to collaborate with Miss Universe Philippines to expand that. She shared about how she got depression and moved for a job, and then that's how she started Esteem Queens. She also shared that she has this ability to transform the energy in a room. She knows that people can be happy, but they can also feel safe with her. She says that we're in a mental health crisis, and I don't want people to experience depression as I did. I want to extend Esteem Queens in the Philippines and abroad, and I want everyone to know that the universe is so much brighter with them in it. So well said, so true. I loved that. So she talked a lot about Esteem Queens in her videos and here in the interview, which I think was smart. But if she makes it into that top 5, I would switch that talking point up. We need to hear something different from her for that onstage question. Baguio is so gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Now, they asked her about the passing of her father, and she talked a little bit about that and how grief can affect a person and change a person, but she also shared about how she spearheaded cleanup efforts because she is a tourism major. She was asked about the pressure of being a Baguio title holder because Baguio has done very well in recent years at Miss Universe Philippines, and that's something I've commented a lot on in my episodes too. It's just like, oh gosh, they're so close, so close. But she said, yes, there is pressure, but this is all about her own personal journey, essentially not those who came before her, and that the role of being Miss Universe Philippines should be filled by a Filipina who is proud of her culture. And she shared about how she loves her city and she has a love for everything that she does. So she had a great interview, and honestly I feel like she's going to do very well overall. Northern California, so she was a very early favorite. I saw a lot of people posting about her, and I feel like in terms of fan pages she's lost a little bit of steam in the competition, but really it should not matter to judges at all. Things like fan votes and rankings online or fan pages. So here's some important things that she shared. She says, don't let other people's perception of you determine what you can achieve. She mentioned that in 2021, she almost lost her life, and that inspired her to go after her dreams. She also shared that this is her first pageant, and I have to say, wow, very, very impressed if this is your first pageant and this is how you interview, because she spoke very confidently and she was very commanding in that interview. She shared about how these experiences have made her more powerful and resilient, and that she thinks she's currently more confident than she's ever been in her entire life, which that's great. If you're ever going to be confident, it should be during Miss Universe Philippines, right? She also said, and here's what I really loved, that her motto is, "You are only as beautiful as you are kind." I'm going to use that. I don't know if it's an original quote, but I'm going to use that. "And when you lead with compassion in your heart, the country can know that every decision that you make is coming from a good place." But wow, you are only as beautiful as you are kind. I really hope that she does live by those words, because that is such a beautiful statement. Kizan Province, one of our big fan favorites. So she talked about her humble beginnings. And then she was also asked this question that was in reference to twirling your batons in pageantry. And I guess she wasn't familiar with that stereotype in pageantry. And she says that, "I didn't realize that that's a stereotype, but I do feel like it is an important part of pageantry, putting on a show." And she's right, frankly, right? Like when these ladies, they put on these great or creative performances, I feel like that's what keeps people watching. It keeps people entertained. She also shared that her friends and family know that if she wants to achieve something, then she will do it. She's going to do what it takes, and I like that. She believes that if she works hard, that she can achieve whatever it is that she desires. And then she also says that she has a story for the Filipinos to hear. She wants them to know that she was born from humble beginnings, and that doesn't have to define your potential. What defines your potential is how hard you work for your dreams and what you do. Very true. Palawan, beautiful suit, by the way, okay? Lovely. Gosh, these interview outfits, they get me every year. I'm just obsessed. Anyways, so she talked about how growing up in Palawan, because it is an area with a lot of tourism, it taught her a lot about conservation for the Philippines. And I thought that was a really cool thing that she mentioned. And then she talked about how when she, at a certain point after her father had passed away, that she just wasn't happy with the person that she saw in the mirror. And I felt like that was a very honest thing to say, and that she decided to change that, as we all can, right? But many of us don't. But I really loved that remark. And she talked about how she works with children in Palawan, and she really hopes to serve them throughout this year, and that there has never been a Miss Universe Philippines from Palawan, and that she would really like to promote her province, her people, and of course the Philippines. Bandayan Island is a doctor, so they asked her what her patients thought of her competing at Miss Universe Philippines, and she shared about how supportive they've been throughout this journey. I thought that was really, really great, and oh my gosh, does she come across as confident and likable. If you weren't already looking out for her, look out for her. I honestly think that she's going to advance at least into semifinals because of this interview. She talked about how also during COVID she started a dry fish brand, and that her face is the logo, which I thought was really cute. She just sounds like a great tourism ambassador, honestly, and tourism seems to be something very important in Filipino pageantry, and I was like, wow, she was so great for this. And she just made me smile, honestly, throughout this entire interview. She shared about her advocacy in one of her answers and the importance of healthcare for all Filipinos. I thought it was great. She was super on brand, but gosh, was she likable. Taguig, okay, here we go. She is shining. She really is. So this was a great color on her. She was beautiful. She always looks beautiful. She got asked a question about the difference between traveling as a host and then traveling as a contestant. And she said, well, when I travel for the show that I work for, there's much more of a focus on marine life and eco-conservation versus traveling with the contestants. It's a lot more about learning more about Filipino culture. And she also said that 14 years ago, when she was a young girl, she was still having fun and she was fresh in pageantry, but now she is more self-aware and she's back because she still hasn't achieved that one big dream. That was perfect. That was perfect. She told us why she's back. She wasn't too forward about it, but it's like, I know what you're talking about, girl. You want that Miss Universe Philippines title. You want that Miss Universe title. We get it. And I loved it. Absolutely loved it. She also shared that when she was growing up, she was never super feminine, kind of a tomboy, and that it was really going against the grain for her to get involved in pageantry. And she says that she was living in New York and she dropped everything 10 years ago to move to the Philippines, and now the Philippines is her home. I'll also just say that hosting really helped her. She's so pleasant to listen to. Oh my goodness, that experience is just shining through. I could listen to her speak all day. In reference to why should you be the next Miss Universe Philippines, she says she feels like this is divine timing for her because 6 months ago she couldn't have done this, she wasn't eligible, and that you can achieve goals at your own pace. She says she is a woman with global understanding and global awareness, and that she can proudly represent the Philippines in Mexico if given the opportunity. Mandaue. Okay, so this interview right here, this one is something we need to learn from. Win or lose, fantastic job here. So they asked her about her late mother and how she would feel seeing her compete in the pageant. And she said, it's really funny because when I was growing up, her mother passed away when she was 3 years old, by the way, but when she was growing up, she would sort of walk down a little runway and her mom would say, you know, there she is, Miss Universe Philippines, and cheer for her. So she said that she would be really proud of her. They asked her another interesting question, and I didn't love the phrasing of it, but we do get questions like this sometimes in an interview, and I really love how she turned this around. They said that, well, you're a singer, but you're also a nurse, so was being a nurse your backup plan? She shared with them, well, my mom was a nurse, and my dream has always been to be a nurse, and also I have other family members that are in medicine. And then she shared that singing, though, however, it's her passion and something she would like to explore more. It was at this point I realized how cute her outfit was, and then I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't even notice her outfit because I was so hyper-focused on her. And that really says something about your interview. She shared that her personal philosophy is persist, and in spite of any challenges, that there are a lot of responsibilities for title holders, but she's really proud that she decided not to give up on this dream, even though there were times when she thought that she would, and in the bigger picture she was able to adapt. And that is a useful skill if you're a title holder. Now, her answer for why you should be the next Miss Universe Philippines, at the end of this answer, my jaw had just dropped, so I had to actually get this one word for word and share it with you. She said, I should be the next Miss Universe Philippines. I want to change the image of being a queen. We always say I can further my advocacy, but how can you further your advocacy if you do not have the empathy? Because empathy is always the key to relatability, and I have always been empathetic. You know, I can't count with my hands how many times people have told me, and then she shared something in Tagalog. If you know the translation, please share it in the comments so we will all know. And then she went on to say, and it truly is heartwarming because that has always been my why when I joined, and receiving that feedback only means I have met my goal even before the pageant ended. So just imagine how much more I can expand my potential as your next Miss Universe Philippines. Another answer that makes me emotional. I thought that they said, why should you be the next Miss Universe Philippines? And she says, I should be. And that she wants to change what it looks like, the image of being Miss Universe Philippines. And I love that she separates her goals. Her only goal isn't just to become Miss Universe Philippines. That's not the end all be all. She understands that there are other goals along the way. There are things that are bigger than crowns. She gets it. And I love that. I'm in love with her. I'm in love. Wow, how amazing are these women, right? They're so incredible. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed creating it and learning more about these contestants. They truly are phenomenal. I wish them all the best of luck, honestly. Overall, everybody did a really great job at this year's competition, so it's really hard to narrow these down, but these were the ones that happened to stand out to me. I hope, though, that you really enjoyed the episode and that you'll come back for the rest of my coverage for Miss Universe Philippines and beyond. In the meantime, check out these other ones that I hope you'll enjoy.